Hello everybody and welcome back to the Wolves Scope, and today we have got a new video for you, and today I'm delighted to be bringing you a lowdown video on 23-year-old Brazilian forward Matheus Cunha. Now if you're wondering why we're doing this video now, it's because about an hour ago we got the here we go on Twitter from Fabrizio Romano to say that Wolves have indeed completed a deal for Cunha. Now, you're probably wondering, loads of sources have been saying this over the past few weeks. Pretty much every newspaper's been saying that Wolves have completed a deal for Cunha and nothing's happening yet. But if you are active on the football space, you will know that Fabrizio Romano is one of the most reputable journalists in the game, and if he says a deal is happening, the likelihood is that it's definitely going to happen. Just take his word for it. So that's why we've decided to do a lowdown now. So if you know how these videos are structured, we do a little bit of information on the deal, the medical, the clauses of the deal, etc. And then we go into some in-depth stats and show you what his role, etc. could be at Wolves and what he's done at the past at his previous clubs. And now this news, I guess, initially broke this morning in a Marca interview with Julian Lopetegui, and the words directly came from Lopetegui's mouth that a deal for Matheus Cunha was close. Now everyone's getting a bit excited over this until it was found out that this interview was actually recorded a week ago but only published this morning. So everyone was saying, okay, let's calm down a little bit. You know, this interview was from a week ago. A lot can change in a week, especially in the football transfers business. This deal might not be as close as we potentially think it is. But then later this morning, Alex Crook from TalkSport, who tends to be a very good journalist when it comes to Wolves, followed up by saying that this deal was in fact close. Nothing had changed over the week, and that the release clause would be £40 million, and it would be a loan with an obligation to buy of that sum. And then club journalist Liam McKean gave it the thumbs up, said, yeah, this is the deal. Alex Crook is right here. Wolves are closing in on a deal for Matheus Cunha, but I think the general feeling was that it was gonna be still a while till the deal got sorted out. There are still a few details to be ironed out. But obviously this afternoon, as I've said, Fabrizio's given it the here we go. So that looks like that deal is over the line. So now we'll move on to the sort of statistics side. I'm going to show you where this guy can sort of fit in at Wolves, what he's done in the past, his positions, some in-depth stats, his strengths, his weaknesses, basically everything you need to know. Now in terms of Cunha, his first big season was in the 20-21 season with Hertha Berlin in the Bundesliga, where he registered 7 goals and 4 assists in just 27 Bundesliga appearances. Now, these appearances obviously impressed. He was very good that season, and he moved to Atletico Madrid for €25 million. Now, I think he did okay, but maybe not as high as expectations would be for him. He registered 6 goals and 4 assists in 29 matches, and this season he's sort of fallen out of the picture with Atletico Madrid, only 2 assists in 11 appearances, and I think that's why that's prompted them to cash in on a move for Cunha. Now, in terms of what he can do, his strengths, his weaknesses, and some stats, I'm going to give you some stats from his 2021 season at Hertha Berlin, because that was his strongest season. And I do think with Atletico Madrid players, especially attackers, they're quite skewered stats. I don't think that they potentially reflect really what the player is like just because of their style of play. The attacking players get much less chances to demonstrate, so I don't think the stats are particularly representative of the player himself. So we're going to go off his 2021 season at Hertha. And he likes to shoot a lot. He had 2.6 shots per game on average. He also had 1.8 key passes. So that shows you that he can be good in that number 10 role, which is being said to be potentially looking at playing at Wolves. Now, he had 3 successful dribbles on average per game. That's probably his biggest strong point, is dribbling. And he drew 2.8 fouls during each game on average. So I think his best positions are probably from the calm and on the left. You know, on the left he likes to cut inside, shoot, as we've seen from his shots per game, or draw a foul and then set up a dangerous set piece, which we've seen from his dribbles and his fouls won. And then also his key passes with 1.8 key passes a game. That's really good for a player of his youth, especially at the time. He's about 21 during this season. You know, he's really good at bringing other players into the game, and I think that could be a very crucial thing to get Wolves moving forward. He was also at an average rating of 7.33, so although maybe the say stats of 7 goals and 4 assists don't seem absolutely world-breaking, that 7.33 rating is something very, very good. Now, in terms of Cunha's weaknesses, I'm not going to pretend they aren't there, and I think his weaknesses mainly come when he's playing as a central striker on his own, because I think although his link-up play is good when he's in the cam, I don't think his hold-up play is good. And now link-up play and hold play are two different things, because the link-up play is sort of 1-2s of players playing players in, I think, but the hold-up play is, you know, bringing the ball into you and looking for options and holding the defenders off. Now, although he isn't small and standing at 6 foot, he's not a massive physical guy, and he does get dispossessed quite a lot. During that season at Hertha, he got dispossessed 2.5 times a game, so he's not going to be a guy that holds up the ball for you. I don't think that's where we can expect him to do for Wolves. I don't think that's the job we can see him doing. I think he's going to be in that cam role or off that left. For me, I'd play him in the cam just because of sort of the quality and depth we have on those wings, and I think he can be a very good player for us. Just a quick overview of, I guess, what he's good at. He likes to dribble, shoot from range. When he's on left, he cuts inside, draws fouls. He's not very good at hold-up play. I think that's probably what you can draw from all those stats overall. Now, in terms of where he'll fit in at Wolves, he's a high-pressing player, and it came out in the Times this morning that Lopetegui was shocked during his camp how unfit that Wolves squad was and how bad their lack of pressing is. So apparently it was a tough camp for Wolves players, you know, lots of training, 2 sessions a day, a morning one and an evening one. And although I don't think necessarily Cunha is going to be a player that scores a load of goals and, you know, is a 15-goal-a-season player for Wolves, I think he's going to be really hard working. He's going to press. He's just going to create opportunities for other players and just bring Wolves forward as a whole and create another goal-scoring threat, bringing players like Guedes, Diego Costa, Podence into the game a bit more to try and bring Wolves up the field and then get more players in the box, which will obviously result in more goals. So I think, although the price is a little bit heavy in my opinion of £40 million, I don't necessarily think he's really justified that. I think it will be a good move for Wolves. I think he will help as a whole. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be good. And although I don't think, as I've said, he's going to be that big central striker that we all need to bang loads of goals in, I think that will be someone else that we potentially bring in. I think he's going to really work out, and I think Lopetegui is going to love him, and I think he's really going to work in this system. So that is going to be it for today. If you did enjoy, please make sure to subscribe, and also drop in the comments what you think on this player. Other than that, I'll see you next time.